Hello Year 6 and welcome to Thursday's reading home learning, and today we're going to try and finish finally chapter 7, and after that then you're going to have a reading task to go away and complete. So we're going to read chapter 7 together, then you're going to be given a task, and then you're going to go away and try and complete that task. So we just got to the edge of Mirkwood. Well, here is Mirkwood, said Gandalf, the greatest of the forests of the northern world. I hope you like the look of it. Now you must send back these exceptional ponies you have borrowed. The dwarves were inclined to grumble at this, but the wizard told them they were fools. Bjorn is not as far off as you seem to think, and you had better keep your promises anyway, for he's a bad enemy. Mr. Baggins' eyes are sharper than yours. If you had not seen each night after dark a great bear going along with us, or sitting far off in the moon watching our camps, not only to guard you and guide you, but to keep an eye on the ponies too. Bjorn may be your friend, but he loves his animals as his children. You do not guess what kindness he has shown you in letting dwarves ride them so far and so fast, nor what would happen to you if you tried to take them into the forest. What about the horse then? Said Thorin. You don't mention sending that back. I don't, because I'm not sending it. What about your promise then? I will look after that. I'm not sending the horse back, I'm riding it. Then they knew that Gandalf was going to leave them at the very edge of Mirkwood, and they were in despair. But nothing they could say would change his mind. Now we had this all out before when we landed on the Carrock, he said. It's no use arguing. I have, as I told you, some pressing business away south, and I'm already late through bothering with you people. We may meet again before all this is over, and then of course we may not. That depends on your luck and on your courage and sense, and I'm sending Mr. Baggins with you. I've told you before that he has more about him than you guess, and you'll find that out before long. So cheer up, Bilbo, and don't look so glum. Cheer up, Thorin and company. This is your expedition after all. Think of the treasure at the end, and forget the forest and the dragon, at any rate until tomorrow morning. When tomorrow morning came, he still said the same. So now there was nothing left to do but to fill their water skins at a clear spring they had found close to the forest gate and unpack the ponies. They distributed the packages as fairly as they could, though Bilbo thought his lot was wearisomely heavy, and did not like the idea of trudging for miles and miles with it on his back. Don't you worry, said Thorin. It'll get lighter all too soon. Before long I expect we should all wish our packs heavier when the food begins to run short. Then at last they said goodbye to their ponies and turned their heads for home. Off they trotted gaily, seeming very glad to put their tails towards the shadow of Mirkwood. As they went away, Bilbo could have sworn that a thing like a bear left the shadow of the trees and shambled off quickly after them. Now Gandalf too said farewell. Bilbo sat on the ground feeling very unhappy and wishing he was beside the wizard on his tall horse. He had gone just inside the forest after breakfast, a very poor one, and it had seemed as dark in there as the morning as the night, and very secret. A sort of watching and waiting feeling, he said to himself. Goodbye, said Gandalf to Thorin, and goodbye to you all. Goodbye. Straight through the forest is your way now. Don't stray off the track. If you do, it is 1,000 to 1 you'll never find it again, and never get out of Mirkwood. Then I don't suppose I, or anyone else, will ever see you again. Do we really have to go through? Grumbled the hobbit. Yes, you do, said the wizard. If you want to get to the other side, you must either go through or give up your quest. And I'm not going to allow you back out now, Mr. Baggins. I'm ashamed of you for thinking of it. You have got to look after all these dwarves for me, he laughed. No, said Bilbo. I didn't mean that. I meant, is there no way round? There is, if you care to go 200 miles or so out of your way north, and twice that south. But you wouldn't get safe path even then. There are no safe paths in this edge of the world. Remember, you are over the edge of the wild now, and in for all sorts of fun, wherever you go. Before you could get round Mirkwood in the north, you'd be right among the slopes of the Grey Mountains, and they are simply stiff with goblins, hobgoblins, and orcs of the worst description. Before you could get round it in the south, you would get in the land of the necromancer, and even you, Bilbo, won't need me to tell you the tales of that black sorcerer. I don't advise you to go anywhere near the places overlooked by his dark tower. Stick to the forest track, keep your spirits up, hope for the best, and with a tremendous slice of luck you may come out one day and see the long marshes lying before you. And beyond them, high in the east, the lonely mountain where dear old Smaug lives. Though I hope he's not expecting you. Very comforting you are, to be sure, growled Thorin. Goodbye. If you won't come with us, you'd better get off without any more talk. Goodbye then, and really goodbye, said Gandalf. And he turned his horse and rode down into the west. But he could not resist the temptation to have the last word. Before he had passed quite out of hearing, he turned and put his hands to his mouth, and called to them. They heard his voice come faintly. Goodbye, be good, take care of yourselves, and don't leave the path. Then he galloped away and was soon lost to sight. Oh, goodbye and go away, grunted the dwarves, all the more angry because they were really filled with dismay at losing him. Now began the most dangerous part of the journey. They each shouldered the heavy pack and the water skin, which was their share, and turned from the light that lay on the lands outside and plunged into the forest. Okay, we finished that chapter, and well done for reading along with me. Now today we don't have any comprehension questions, but you do have a reading activity, and you should probably do this in your learning journey book. And that is a Y map. Gandalf is leaving, or he's left. And you are imagining you are one of the dwarves on his left, that Gandalf's left behind. These are the sort of things you might be thinking. Why might he be leaving? Why do you think Gandalf is leaving? Gandalf is leaving because, and then you need to tell me why you think Gandalf's leaving. How do you think the characters feel? Well, I think the characters are... And then how do you think they feel? I think they'd be really grumpy. I think they'd be really upset. I think they'd be really scared, anxious, worried about the challenges yet to come. And remember, Gandalf's already saved them quite a few times. And what do you think? What do you think the characters are going to say? For example, then they were telling him to go away, even though they probably didn't even mean it. So I think the characters will say, and then what do you think the characters are going to say about Gandalf leaving? So you need to complete the Y map, and you need to think about why will they be leaving, or why might Gandalf be leaving? How do you think the characters are going to feel at this point in the story? Well, I'll tell you, I don't think they're going to be really happy about it, are they? What do you think the characters are going to say? Well, I reckon they might not say very nice things about Gandalf. So complete your Y map and do it in your learning journey book, and it should look like this. Good luck, and I can't wait to see what you post on Class Dojo.